See if anybody's. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and start talking a little bit. Anyway, talked about the bikes yesterday. Today's only live stream number 2. I don't know, guys. Might be too early, huh? I think this one's a little too early. Yo, what is up, TD? How's it going, man? So maybe I'm a little early today. um, did you happen to catch Tim's video yet? I am at the alley and can't hear a thing. Gotcha. So, I don't know, guys. All right, so I don't know if you guys caught Pickup Truck and SUV Talks new video with Tim Estradell. I'm not 100% how to say his last name. He had a guest on his show today on the new video. Alan, I want to say his last name was Schaefer. Really good video. You guys should definitely catch it if you can. It talks about Diesel. First off, told you guys Diesel wasn't dead. Second, Diesel's not going anywhere. Mr. Alan Schaefer said it right when he said that Diesel drives our global commerce. It really does. That's why it's not going nowhere. They may get new fuels for it, but that's about it. The diesel is a good motor. Diesel is good. Diesel is efficient. Anytime you have a diesel, you can make huge amounts of power and huge amounts of torque. I do agree that we have to find a better way to get emissions under control They produce a lot. They produce a lot. But that's okay. We're working on getting it down. Hey guys, I see 3 of y'all are watching now. Well, it says 3. I don't know how accurate it is. There's the bikes in the background, the Honda and the Harley. Still, of course, they're gonna stay in the garage. Yo, Edwin said yo. Anne Marie, my wife, she said she's watching from work. How are you guys doing today? How's work? Edwin, I had just got done talking about pickup truck and SUV talk. Uh, Tim had a really good video posted today about diesels. He had a guest that really seemed to know what he was talking about, who was very knowledgeable. If you get a chance, check it out. Check it out. It's a good video. Has a lot of information. Work's going slow. I'm sorry. And my buddy Jet is calling me. I don't know where he's at. He's on his way home from someplace else. I'll have to talk with him in a little while. I'm not going to stay for a full hour today. I guess I will. We'll play it by ear. We'll play it by ear. We'll see how long, see what we get to talking about. Edwin, do you have any questions about motorcycles or diesels or trucks or cars or anything like that? I mean, just out of curiosity. Nice, definitely. Just on his way home from work. Edwin says, just on the way home from work, a few Coors Lights are calling his name. Awesome, man. Drink a few of them. Make sure you stop driving first. Let's talk about diesels again here for a second. I have told you guys in Tundra Dude 3.4's channel that I used to have a diesel. One of the times that my head gaskets had gotten blown, I was able to keep them. So this is the head gaskets for a 6.0 Power Stroke. They are blown, they are no good. You can see all of the crud. Both of them. And that was with ARP head studs, by the way. So if anybody tells you that that's a fix, it's definitely not. Yeah, babe, that's exactly what I was just talking about. My wife was just saying to talk to you guys about the F-250 and how we had to have the heads done a couple of times. We had to have the heads done, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 times, but it was quite expensive every time. I mean, it was a 6.0 Power Stroke. They're known to blow. We did an EGR delete, EGR cooler delete, bigger turbo, tune, intake, exhaust, ARP head studs, new head gaskets. We had a lot of work done to it. Edwin says, I don't know a whole lot about diesels, driving for a living, but have never owned one. There are a lot of maintenance when it comes to owning one as an individual. There are a lot of maintenance, Edwin. The overhead on them is tremendous. When you're a company and you're constantly running them, the maintenance is just the same. So it's not gonna, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. You make it up on fuel economy. My wife says the Tundra costs more money to buy, but a lot less to keep running. It depends on which Tundra you get, I imagine, and it also depends on, you know, which diesel truck you buy. Um, but yeah, I can see that it could cost more to purchase it outright, but the overhead on the maintenance on it is just way cheaper. The maintenance on a gasser is way cheaper. Um, it's it's just cheaper, a lot cheaper. My buddy Jim's calling me again. I hope everything's okay. I'm gonna text him real quick. Give me 1 second. Uh, so, let's see what else. We got any more? No, we don't have any more questions about anything yet. So, I don't know, guys. TD said he was bowling tonight. He's at the bowling alley, so hopefully he's bowling some 300s, or I guess that's the highest score you can get. I'm not 100%. My wife says, and it's more fun to drive too. Don't have to worry about trying to reconnect pieces that blow off. You are absolutely correct. My F-250 the turbo used to blow the intercooler tubes off quite often. He can't hear. My wife asked, "How you doing, TD?" He can't hear you, babe. He's at the bowling alley, and the sound is turned all the way up, and he can't hear me. My buddy Jet just got in town from Alabama, so I'm asking him if he wants to come and join in on the live stream. TD, my wife asked what's your score, but I don't think he can hear us, babe. I think he might be bowling. I was gonna go for a ride today, but it was raining most of the morning, pretty heavy, and it was still kind of wet out. So I decided not to go for a ride. And then how do you decide which one to ride? Both of them, they're so perfect. Edwin says I have a '07 Tundra, SR5 double cab. Love it. The only work I have done on it so far is put Gibson Extreme exhaust, spider headlights, and filler lights under the headlights. Had a bull bar, but smacked a deer and had insurance company, and the insurance company would replace it. Yes, Cal says he likes throwing those balls around. Yes, he does. He actually has a bowling ball collection. Figure that one out. Edwin, that sucks that you hit a deer, man, and that stinks that they didn't cover, your insurance company didn't cover your aftermarket accessories. I'm gonna have to check with my insurance company, make sure that I'm covered for aftermarket accessories, because I do a lot of custom modifications, and I won't say mods for TD there, but I like to do a lot of mods to my vehicles, and there you go, sir. Cal wanted to see the bikes. I'm sorry to put my thumb in the way there. Jeez, still trying to learn this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check my insurance to make sure that I can get the aftermarket accessories covered. Let me get you a better image of them bikes. Edwin says 11,000 in damage, but they fixed it. Front end's all new. Nice, Edwin. Well, at least they covered the entire front end of it. I mean, it sucks that they didn't cover the aftermarket accessories, but, I mean, eating the cost on a bull bar isn't as bad as eating the cost on the entire front end. Thank you, Cal. I really love my bikes. My wife is gracious enough to let me have them. I showed the Tundra last night. My wife asked if I've shown the Tundra yet today. No, I have not shown the Tundra yet today. It's in its cave out in the other, at the workshop. This is the main garage. Cal says very nice rods. I think I read that already. Thank you, Cal. I appreciate that, man. These are the Honda's my daily rider. The Harley used to be my daily rider, but I mean it's they don't make that bike anymore, and I really like the Harley. I got about 15,000 miles on it, and I want to try and keep it low. I want that one to be a survivor. The Honda, we'll tear it up. Hey Dan, Dan says hi guys. Cal says I ride a Z900 and the wife rides a Vulcan Cafe S. Those are two very nice bikes, sir. Edwin says, yeah, I didn't fight with them. I was shocked they paid to fix it. Thought for sure they'd total it out. 11-year-old truck only has 103,000 on it. I mean, shoot, that Tundra's good for a lot longer, a long time. And if they fixed all of it except for the bull bar, I mean, it's a fairly acceptable loss, I guess. I mean, a couple $100, like I said, maybe 200, 300 bucks for a bull bar. And they're easy to install. Any questions about bikes or diesels? I'm gonna mention it again. Pickup truck and SUV talk. Tim Estradal, he posted a video today. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. He had a guest appearance. Gentleman's name was Alan Schaefer. They do some really good diesel talk, a lot of good knowledge. Cal asks, what do you think about Harley talking about moving their production to Europe? Cal, I'm disappointed in Harley. My personal opinion, I know I'm going to get some stuff from some guys out there. I will not buy another Harley. Harley's ruined it. Their customer service is horrible. And they eliminated too many of the good bikes. They eliminated the Fat Boy. I mean, let me correct that. They didn't eliminate it. They eliminated the old style Fat Boy. This style Fat Boy. They should have never eliminated that. That's the best thing, one of the best things that they ever made. But they eliminated it because millennials don't buy it. Well, I mean, honestly, who cares if a millennial doesn't buy it? If everybody else is buying it, seems like you would want to keep it around. I don't think you can call Harley an American motorcycle anymore. That's my honest opinion on that, Cal. And it sucks, but there it is. Yes, Dan, I did get to see that video. I have a few talking points that I'm going to post on Tim's channel and you know, and address a few things. But dang it, I'm stuttering. I'm nervous, guys. Sorry. Alan Schaefer was the guest, and he's got some pretty good ideas on diesels. And I mean, I'm not saying they're his, but they definitely have ideas on diesels. Um, Edwin says, I live outside Milwaukee. The amount of Harley plants that have shut down in the past 10 years is insane. Not much left here, one plant in the museum. Yes, Edwin, I've heard that they shut down production at the majority of the plants here in the U.S. And moved, well, let me correct that, they ramped up production at the India facilities. Dan says, I have a few questions about it as well. What do you have questions about, Dan? Maybe we can discuss them. Cal says they buy data and memory, not bikes. Yes, yes, Cal, I agree. Harley, just I'm disappointed. I honestly believe that the Harley brothers and Mr. Davidson, or the Davidson brothers and Mr. Harley, would probably slap the ever-living heck out of some board members if they were alive and going down to them board meetings today. Dan says, my main thing will be is the fuel will hold up. What will the fuel hold up to? Dan says the rigor of the heat demand that the engines produce, or will it break down? All right, Dan. There's a lot of different stuff you can put inside of a diesel motor, and it'll still run. I know there's some places put, and I'm not sure if it's legal or not. I know some places put jet fuel. Some places, they just use regular diesel. You could buy farm diesel if there's a difference, and I think there is. I'm not 100% if there's a difference between the green handle that you pump in your highway diesel, or if there's, and the difference between the farm diesel. I've heard there is. And I've also heard don't get caught running farm diesel in your diesel truck down the highway. They don't like that. But Dan, there are a lot of guys that are into saving money will produce their own biofuel. Cooking oil, used cooking oil, when it gets filtered out, once you add a few additives, I believe you only add a couple of things. And you're good to go. You can pour it straight into a diesel motor. And I mean, obviously it has to be filtered. You don't want to pour French fry crumbs in your internal combustion. But I mean, even that's a renewable source. I mean, there's a lot of alternatives out there that people don't talk about. My wife says there is a difference, but it's minor. Definitely illegal to use farm diesel on the highway, as it's not taxed if it's for farm equipment. French fries. Dan says, French fries. And actually, Dan, I had a neighbor at one point, and my wife might remember it. He also had a diesel truck. He had an old school Dodge with a Cummins. Yes, and quite often, my wife just said, McDonald's fries. She knows McDonald's fries are my favorite. Quite often, when he would let his truck idle for a long period in his front yard, if the wind was blowing right, we would smell the fumes of his diesel truck. Not complaining, we lived out in the country, it is what it is. I'm not worried about it. A few times, though, he left it idling, and we could smell French fries. After talking with him, it was biodiesel. A few of his buddies and him got together, made some biodiesel, and he ran it in his truck, and said it ran like a dream. It ran just as well as going to the gas station and putting diesel in it, or should I say the diesel station and putting diesel in it. So there are plenty of alternatives for diesel fuel, Dan. It just happens to be that the fossil fuel is the most readily available. Dan says, when my dad was an airplane mechanic, he and some of the other diesel owners would run a bit of aircraft fuel. I know for a fact you can run aircraft fuel in a diesel. um, there's a major, I don't know how to describe it. I'm trying to choose my words wisely here because um, I don't want to get in trouble. The majority of, dang it, I'm trying to, it's hard to think of how to say it without getting in trouble. There's a major company that uses jet fuel in all of their diesels, all of them, all of them. They don't use diesel fuel for not a one. Dan says with just an additive like injection cleaner or octane booster. Well, I know for a fact that these guys run jet fuel straight in their motors. And yes, it does work. It starts up, they get decent mileage. In fact, their trucks typically idle for anywhere from 6 to 12 hours, a lot of idling. And they also do probably 6 to 8 hours worth of driving a day. It's a lot of driving, a lot of abuse on a diesel, and they run jet fuel, and it works. Now, I don't know what the regulations are, so once again, I'm not saying who they are. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, so. What else we got, guys? What else we got here? Well, we're coming up on about 30 minutes. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and hop off the live stream and, oh, you're good, Thunder. I was actually just about to hop off of here. You're not late or nothing. I was just gonna make a short live stream. Dan says, I hate to cut it short, but dinner bell is ringing. Peace and love and chicken grease. Yes, Dan. Peace, man. Enjoy dinner. Thundra, it's no worries, man. Once again, you know, Thundra says, sorry I'm late. There's no reason to be sorry, man. It's just a easy discussion about diesels and motorcycles today, or any topic that really comes up, whatever suits your fancy. My wife says, is using jet fuel on the road illegal? I don't know. I don't know if it's illegal or not, and that's why I'm not going to say the major corporation, and I can't even call them a corporation, the major entity that puts jet fuel in their vehicles. I don't know if it'll get them in trouble or not. And I don't know if I'm not supposed to know that information. So, I mean, I'm just not going to say who they are. Thundra 501 says, got the notification but didn't have my phone on me, was doing some tuning. What was you tuning, man? Was it a car, truck, SUV, motorcycle? Tell me it was a motorcycle. Hey guys, do me a favor, click that like button if you don't mind. Nice. Let us know what's up. Thundra said he was tuning his Tundra, guys, so maybe he's got some good news for us on being able to get our Tundras tuned. Interesting. Maybe there's going to be another company. Did you decide to go with Bully Dog or Unichip, or there's another company out? I can't remember their name though. I'll have to look it up. My wife asked, what you do to your Tundra? Interesting. Thundra said, need to get intercooler for it. Interesting. Intercooler. Gotcha. You must be supercharged or turbocharged or something like that. Forced induction. How's it running after the tuning? Thunder says, I had exhaust work done yesterday. It's running rich, trying to lean it out. Gotcha. Okay. Well, it's better to have it running rich than lean. That's for sure. You don't want to burn out valves. Or was curious. My wife asked. She said what was curious what tune changed and what differences you see. So Thundra. Out of curiosity, that's a good question. What differences do you actually notice driving the truck before and after the tune? Thundra says it's still running rich, but not as bad. It's more powerful now through the RPM. Awesome. Okay, so he's just got generally more power through the whole band, is what it seems like. Anne-Marie, similar to I guess what it did for the F-250. Anne-Marie X is what tuner did you use, Thundra? Did you go with Bully Dog or Unichip, or do you have a new company working on it? Using DAP. Thundra says he's using DAP, so we'll have to check into him. Keep us updated, please, definitely. If you haven't, I'm sure you're going to do some videos for us of it, so I'll be watching for them. All right, so the Honda. After talking with the wife, I don't think we're going to go for 200 miles an hour. I think we're going to go for stunning wheelies. I've never been able to do a stoppie. Let's try a stoppie at some point. We'll make it happen. I have to get all of my proper equipment though, for sure. I don't want to hurt myself. Thundra says, yeah, I'll do an update on it Thursday. Awesome, man. Cool. I can't wait for Thursday to see that video. You guys click on that subscribe button for Thundra as well. That way we can keep an eye on what he's got going on. Anne Marie says you're gonna have more fun with tricks on the Honda. I agree. I think I'm gonna have a lot more fun with the Honda doing tricks. It's just been so long. It's been quite a long time since I've done stunts. It's been over 10 years. Just got to start small somewhere. Wheelies. But we will film the whole process. That way you guys can see even my fails. Because, I'm gonna fail. It's gonna happen. Thunder says, yeah, I agree. More fun with tricks than doing 200. You can do 200 whenever, just hop on a plane. There you go. There you go. Um, Tricks it is. We're gonna go ahead and get a cage for it, probably a crash cage. Um, and we're probably gonna get a larger rear sprocket. Currently, the front is a 16 tooth and the rear is a 44 tooth. We're gonna stick with the 16 in the front, and we're gonna go probably to a 48 or a 50 tooth in the back, to be able to pull the front wheel up easier. Um, Definitely, we're gonna have to put a crash cage on it. I don't wanna mess the bike up. The crash cage is gonna protect the engine and the frame and the transmission and the majority of the motor components and body. Thunder says makes sense. Anne Marie says take it slow and we will film it for the guys. It's gonna be fun. And he tends to ride over 100 now. Yes, I do typically ride over 100 miles an hour. On the Honda, I cruise around 110, 115. On the Harley, cruise around 105, 110. Um, Thundra says, I do it in the truck, but it sucks down. No, yes, yes, the Tundras do suck down some fuel. Uh, the Tundras do suck down some fuel. My wife says, FYI, that's not cruising speed for most. Hey, that's my cruising speed. I slow down when I ride with everybody else, and I slow down when I get around cars. I ride my speed as safely as I can. I don't speed around cars. I don't. I mean, you can't. It's hard to argue with a 6,000 pound truck when you're on a 400 pound motorcycle, or 460 pound motorcycle, or even a 900 pound motorcycle. It's just impossible to argue with anything that's heavier than you, and not just heavier, but solid. My wife says the Tundra eats gas when you're in the pedal. That's the only downside I've found. The Tundra does eat fuel. Towing with the Tundra really sucks. Not that the Tundra doesn't handle it well. The Tundra pulls it just fine. There's no issues as far as weight. I'm not concerned about ever towing 10,000 pounds. I'm not concerned about it being able to move the weight. It's going to do it sufficiently. It moves it more than, faster than what you need it to go. My only complaint is the fuel mileage, because when you put 10,000 pounds in that trailer, man, your fuel mileage drops to around 4 to 6 miles to the gallon, and that's if you're staying out of it. When you're getting onto the interstate, I've seen it as low as 1 mile to the gallon. That's the only flaw with the Tundra I have. I love the Tundra, other than that. Thundra says, I do get good gas mileage. I'm usually driving 75 to 80 and I average 18. Yeah, you're getting really good gas mileage. If I drive 75 to 80, I'm in a neighborhood of 12 to 13 miles to the gallon. Hey TD, are you still bowling? Thundra says, I haven't done a whole lot of towing with my truck, but when I tow, I get 15. Wow, wow. Are you, I'm assuming you're supercharged. Are you supercharged or turbocharged? am gonna cut out here in about 5 minutes, you guys. That way I can go help my buddy unload his bike. Jet's gonna need some help. Thundra says it's stock motor for the most part. So you're not supercharged or nothing like that, just tuning? Man, that's pretty good. I might have to definitely look into a tuner. If getting a tuner changes your mileage that much, I'm gonna have to look into it. That's something that'll pay for itself over time. If I can squeeze another 50, 60 miles out of a tank, I've got the 38 gallons. So if I can squeeze, 4 miles per gallon extra. Thunder says just some tuning. I have K&N cold air intake, which really helps. And you see, Thunder, I'm glad you're talking about that, man. Thank you. I have been told that the K&N air filter does absolutely nothing for the 2018 5.7. I don't get it. Other than sound, guys are saying it does nothing. I don't know. I need to look into it. Thunder says he's got a 26-gallon tank and he gets 400 miles to a tank. Yeah, I can squeeze around 400 out on the 38-gallon. Do you have the 5.7 or the, I want to say 4.6? Is it the 4.6? The small V8? Let's see what Google's got to say about that matter. And Thundra says he's got the 26-gallon and he's got the 5.7. Man, I'm a little jealous of your fuel mileage. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That fuel mileage is why I'm on that Honda. And the small V8 for Toyota, Google says, is the 4.6. So hopefully Google's right on that. He seemed to be a liar. I'm not going to do a live stream again until probably Sunday. I'll probably do another live stream when my wife is home, and we'll do a few, I'll show you the bikes I'll sit on them and show you the difference as far as the handlebar height on the Harley and the Honda, how the sitting position on the Honda CB1000R is actually more comfortable than the CBR 1000RR. Anti-Socialist says, what up? Sorry, wet white bath took longer than expected. It's okay, man. You're not missing much today. We're just having a little discussion about the fuel economy. Me and Thundra was having a discussion about the fuel economy of the Tundras. And with tuning, it seems like we can get fairly decent fuel mileage out of them. Thundra says, I have plastic bumpers, which are lighter as well. My truck is about 6,500 pounds instead of 69. Yes. Yeah, that's going to be a big difference as well. Mine's two-wheel drive, so it's a little bit lighter than the four-wheel drive. I think mine weighs in around 6,700. And my wife just made a good valid point. She says my Camry will be there on Sunday. So Sunday you guys will be able to see the Camry, and I will actually get her to do a review of the Camry from a 5'3" woman's perspective on why the Camry XSE V6 is a great option. Thundra says I have two-wheel drive. I have the two-wheel drive as well. Man, I'm jealous of your fuel mileage. I'm gonna have to look into the DAP tuner or tune or however we can. I can look into it. My wife says we'll have to be in the AM or PM since we have to go for the ride to the coast. Yes, it will have to be in either the morning or the evening. If we do it in the afternoon when we return home, we can actually have Ethan with us. That way, my stepson, he's about as tall as me, so you'll be able to see, you know, basically a grown man in the back seat. Annie Socialist said, can I ask you about the purchase of your truck? Like, how much was it listed for? How much did you pay? Did you order online? Did you negotiate a lot, etc.? All right, Annie Socialist, the purchase of the Tundra, I'm going to have to default to my wife on that one. She actually purchased the Tundra for me. She did all the negotiating. Yeah, I was sitting there, but I'm like a kid, man. I was playing with my phone and probably eating something, to be honest with you. Now, I did have a black one, a double cab 4x4 2018, and I liked it, but it just wasn't what I wanted, and she knew that. She knew that. Thundra says, excited to see the XSE. My truck is 11 years older than yours. But you see, Thundra, being 11 years older, that means it should get worse fuel mileage, right? I mean, and I'm not trying to down your truck. Obviously, your truck gets better fuel mileage than mine. I'm jealous. You know, but it seems that they went backwards with that. You know, fuel mileage should have increased, not decreased. And a socialist said, I need a 4x4 here in Ohio. Ohio, huh? Like I said, I had a 4x4 double cab with the regular bed, and I liked it. I really did. It was a nice truck. If I wanted a 4x4 or if I needed a 4x4, I probably would have kept that one. But with having my in-laws, you know, come over a lot, and I love my in-laws. That's one of the reasons why I really wanted the Crewmax. The Crewmax just fits my family, you know, my family and my lifestyle a little better than the double cab. Not saying the double cab's useless, it's definitely worth it. My family did fit, you know, we fit basically five adults in a double cab with no issues. Everybody had plenty of room. The Crewmax just gives a little bit more leg room to the passengers. Thundra says, you'd think it should get worse. I honestly have yet to see another Tundra in person that runs better than mine. That's awesome, man. That means you're taking care of that truck. That's good. You, sir, are gonna have one of those million-mile Tundras that everybody talks about that's legendary. Annie Socialist says, my 04 Accord Coupe gets better MPG than my 12 Accord Coupe. That's sad. That's sad. Same company, should be the exact same car, and yet you won't get the same fuel mileage. Annie Socialist says, I don't have any kids that I know of, so a double cab for me. Look, even if you did have kids, man, the double cab, it opens up. It's the way the doors open up, it still gives you plenty room in the back seat. It's easily accessible. I was able to load my two dogs in the back of the double cab without a problem. Just opened the door, they hopped right in. Thundra says, I'll have the first million-mile 5.7, and yes, I honestly believe you will. I believe that you will have a million-mile 5.7, and it may be the first. I don't know. I don't talk to that many people about the Tundras, but I mean, your Tundra. I mean, you seem to take care of it. So, Thunder says, I have the double cab. I had my girlfriend and her two kids in there, no problem with room to spare. Yeah, the double cab works. The double cab works. I'm not down in the double cab at all. For my lifestyle, I just needed something that my father-in-law and my mother-in-law would be able to get in a little bit easier, rather than having to squinch up. You know, I mean, I'm trying to be a nice guy to my in-laws. They're nice to me. They're really nice to me. As far as in-laws go, they could be a lot worse. Anti-Socialist, same exact car on the Accord. They changed the gear ratio and screwed it up. That does suck that they changed the gear ratio. That might also be the other thing that's different, Thundra. What is the gear ratio on your Tundra? Thundra says you get a bigger bed with the double cab, more cab space with the Crew Max. That's the only difference. Yeah, that really is the only major difference is that the Crew Max just has a good bit more space for the passengers. For the rear passengers, I don't think it affects anything on the driver and the front passenger. Thundra, the double cab handles better as well. You know, I'm not 100% about that, Thundra. I had the double cab 4x4 with the 6.5 foot bed, and I think my Crew Max handles better than my double cab did. Now, I went from 4-wheel drive double cab, 6 foot bed, to the Crew Max, which has the short bed, and I've got 2-wheel drive now. I think they're the same exact suspension setup, but I'm not 100% on that. So I can't say for certain that they are. But I'm gonna tell you, my Crew Max is quicker. It's definitely quicker off the lawn than the double cab was. Not in the rain though. In the rain, I could just pop the double cab in the 4-wheel drive and it was gone. The Crew Max with 2-wheel drive, it just spins the tires. Anti-Socialist says, back in the day, my dad used to go 45 in first gear in a 69 Dodge Challenger. I bet that was screaming. Anti-Socialist says, I want double cab for the bigger bed mainly. I have no kids. Look, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of guys are going to opt for the longer bed. The longer bed is a good option. It's a very good option. If you tow, my suggestion is get the 2-wheel drive. Thundra says the 2-wheel drive is quicker. Your Crew Max probably handles better because the 4-wheel drive is heavier. And you're right. That probably is the difference right there on why my 2-wheel drive Crew Max handles better and is quicker than my 4-wheel drive. Get back to Anti-Socialist with the bigger bed. If you tow heavy, or you said you need 4-wheel drive, so never mind what it is. You need you're going to get 4-wheel drive, double cab, and a 6-foot bed. You can opt for the long bed, which is really cool. If you got that in 4-wheel drive, that'd be a cool truck. That's actually the truck that I wanted, was the double cab, long bed, 4-wheel drive, and cement gray. And then I was going to put a 6-inch lift kit on it, but the truck wouldn't fit in my garage, so we ended up with a double cab, 6.5 foot bed, and then the Crew Max with the short bed. If my in-laws wasn't moving in, I would have got the double cab, long bed, and 4-wheel drive, and we would have lifted it. About what? What did I say about what? About the double cab? Well, the double cab, you said you're going to get the double cab with for the bigger bed since you don't have kids. And you said you needed 4-wheel drive earlier. Anti-Socialist Thundra is saying to you, if you get a double cab, I'd look into the 7 to 13, less money, same amount of truck as the new ones. There you go. That's a very good point. You can get a used truck for a good bit cheaper, and it's the exact same truck. Now, if you, that's what I was going to say about the long bed. I don't know if you've looked into it, Anti-Socialist. If you like the bigger bed, Toyota does make the 8-foot bed on the double cab. And that's the one that's the, if my in-laws wasn't moving in, that's the one I would want to get, would be the double cab with the 8-foot bed and 4-wheel drive. Thundress says the '07 to '13 is more aerodynamic as well. Yeah, it does look more aerodynamic, so it probably plays something into the fuel mileage. I agree with that. So coming up on my Tundra projects, as you guys saw yesterday, I'm putting the 20 by 12s on Raptor 305/50 R20s. That's the Yokohama Parada Spec X. Then we're going to do the exhaust system. We're going to do a BA muffler long dump, and we're also going to do a supercharger at some point. I may or may not level it 2.5 inches in the front. I don't want to, but I will if I need to avoid cutting stuff. I really like to avoid cutting on my Tundra. But if I have to cut on it, I'm just going to go ahead and keep it to stock height and slap the 20 by 12s on it and chop away. And then I guess it'll be time to tackle sound system and maybe get leather interior installed. I'd like to have leather seats in it. Heated leather seats would be great. If you're still listening, wifey. Thundra says, no, Antisocialist says, probably true. I just had a horrible experience with a used truck. It was a Ford though, LOL, new engine, a new tranny, covered by warranty though. Well, at least it was covered by warranty. And look, Antisocialist, I've had a few Fords and they've all all of my Fords have had issues. I kind of got away from Fords because of that. I'm not trying to be a Ford hater by no means. Just every one of my Fords have had issues, and none of them was covered by warranty. Thunder says mine is a '07. My buddy has a 17. I updated my headlights, fixed some paint. I think mine looks better. Really trying to unbiased about it. Hey man, there's nothing wrong with being biased about your truck. I mean, it's your truck. Make it yours. That's the one of the points of it. Not just to get from A to B. Make it an expression of you. Let it be an art form. And definitely be biased on your truck, man. Love your truck. That's your truck. Antisocialist says, man, you guys must be loaded. I can barely afford a new truck. No, not loaded. Maybe up to our debt and up to our eyeballs in debt. And a socialist says, yeah, I'm from a Ford family too, but going to a Tundra probably next year. Look, man, my dad drives a Ford, my stepmom drives a Ford, my stepdad drives a Ford. A lot of my family drives a Ford. I have an uncle who works at a Ford dealership. He's well, he used to be a service supervisor. And everybody loves Ford, but so with that said, mine had issues. You know, that doesn't mean that they've all had issues. I mean, I had an aunt who had a Ford that lasted her 200,000 miles or so. Great cars. They just don't fit my driving style and my lifestyle. We're just not a good match. Thundra says, the big girl is my baby, no doubt. I'm nowhere close. Thunder also followed up with, I'm nowhere close to loaded. Well, I mean, you gotta love your truck, man. You got to. Supercharger and all. Well, Annie Sosa says supercharger and all. Thank you, Bay. I'll get to that in just a second. Actually, go ahead. My wife asked, "Where is everybody from?" Obviously, we're from Central Mississippi. You know, hanging out in the San Miss, just north of Jackson. Anti-socialist, I will be getting that supercharger for my truck soon. I've got the wife's blessing to go ahead and start saving. A few other projects to take care of first. Then when we get prepared, we're actually going to drive out to Sparks Toyota and let them go ahead and install it. And Socialist says, my brother has F-350 diesel, so he couldn't go with the Toyota because of that for towing. Yeah, if he needs a 1 ton, unfortunately, you know, Toyota is just out of the question. It sucks because I like a dually. I would have a dually just to have a dually, especially if it came in a Tundra. If we could get a Tundra with a 5.7 inline 6, the Cummins, with an Allison transmission in a dually, that would be my ultimate truck. I would want it in Crew Max, and I want an 8-foot bed. Anti-Socialist says Ohio. Thundra says, I will have a new Tundra motor built with a supercharger ready to go in the truck when this motor goes. 04 Yukon in the works too. Nice, very nice. If you have videos, I don't know if you do. I'm gonna have to check your channel out, sir. Thundra's from Little Rock. Anti-Socialist said, nice, that would be cool. I'm assuming we're talking about the supercharger on that. Wow, we've gone over an hour. I've been going over an hour. I tell you what, guys, it's 5:56 Central Time. I'm gonna hop off of here in 4 minutes because I gotta help my buddy unload his motorcycle, and I don't want to leave him stranded. Anti-Socialist asked, Thundra, did you rebuild yourself? Thundra says, I don't rebuild, but catch me on Thursday. Okay, definitely. We will catch. I will tune in. Hey guys, tune in Thursday for Thundra's show. His episode sounds good. What is the next show? Anti-Socialist. The next live stream is probably going to be Sunday. I'm gonna have to get with TD and Pickup Truck and SUV Talk. I'm gonna get with Tim and ask them what times they're gonna be doing theirs, and I'm gonna try and squeeze in so we could maybe get like maybe like a power block, 3-hour power block kind of deal going on. That'd be pretty cool. Kind of have them merge all into one show, but you know, I'm new and I'm not trying to throw a wrench in anybody's systems or anything, so I'm gonna talk with them and see what's up first. But it's definitely gonna be Sunday in the PM. Cool. Thundra says he's gonna go live Thursday to answer questions, so guys, definitely tune in Thursday on Thundra 501's channel so that we can get updates on his tuned Tundra. I don't think he's supercharged. I believe he said he was mostly stock motor. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Thundra. I don't want to give misinformation there. And he's got some pretty good gas mileage going on. Now his is a little bit older than ours, than the 18, which makes me even more jealous that he gets better fuel mileage than I do. Anti-Socialist said, didn't know you had a show, Thundra. He just subbed. Awesome. Supporting friends. So I am going to go ahead and sign off here, guys. Hang on one second. Thundra says, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I haven't been on in a while. Updates on the Tundra and how the channel will be with the truck. and with some golf. Cool. I'm not a golf fan, but I'll definitely tune in. Maybe you'll turn me into a golf fan. Um, I don't know. I'm not a golfer. Most I've ever done with golf is hit the golf balls with a baseball bat. Andy Socialist says he golfs too. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. It's been fun. I'm gonna mention Tim's video again. If you guys haven't seen it, check out Pickup Truck and SUV Talk with Tim Estradal. He had a great show today about diesels and how diesel is not dead. Haha, told you guys diesel was not dead. Diesel is very much alive and going strong. He had a guest appearance today. The gentleman's name was Alan Schaefer. Really knowledgeable about a lot of the new things that are going on with the diesels. So if you get a chance, check it out and make sure you hit that like button for his video as well. Oh Lord, my wife done started an argument about who's more southern. She says, LOL, we're more country. Thunder says golfing is cool when you are with good friends. Thunder says I'm from the country, I promise. Anti-socialist says take care. My family from the south. We're from pretty far south, gentlemen. We're originally from the coast, South Louisiana and South Mississippi. So we're pretty far south. Now, I'm not disputing you guys' southernness, okay? Please don't think that. Everybody's got a little southern in them at some point. So, but on that note, oh yes, Anti-Socialist says I listen to old school country. We do too around our house. Waylon Jennings is one of my favorites. Waylon Jennings, and I'm gonna go ahead and say Hank Williams Sr. is another one. But anyway, all right, guys. Thunder says he was raised on a cotton farm. I'm out. Y'all have a good night. I am going to unload a Harley from a trailer. Talk with y'all Sunday. I will see y'all in probably TD's live streams and on his video, in his comments and all of that. So, you guys have a good night.